My brothers and sisters, my brothers and sisters, before speaking, I would like to touch the feet of all our respected Reverend Adhinam across Tamil soil. Presidency Arunachalam Mudalia, President BJP Tamil Nadu, Sri Annamalai, Treasurer and Chief Coordination of this grand event, Mr. Appu Chandrasekharan, organizers of the spectacular spiritual event, Sri Vashuji, Sri Muthu Kumar Swamiji, Dr. Rajkumar, Sri Rameshwaram, Sri Jagdish Kadaol, and the BJP senior leader, Mr. H. Raja, senior leader, Sadamogam, and the Chancellor, Dr. M.G.R. Vai, and my brothers and sisters present in this August house. Friends, first of all, I would like to say Vadakkam. Friends, I am honored to be here amidst the August gathering of Tirumurai Tiruvira, a venerable exhibit of the vibrant Bharatiya Sanskriti, I mean Indian culture. I am blessed to witness the divine wedding of rituals of Goddess Meenakshi Amman and Lord Sundareshwar. To begin with, I express my reverence to the holy Adhinam present here. Brothers and sisters, I had the occasion to visit Chennai a few days back to take stock of the relief works in the wake of the tropical cyclone. It was a moving experience for me, which also served as a lesson in the resilience of our people of Tamil Nadu. I witnessed the spirited Tamils swiftly restoring normalcy through their selfless community spirit. It is an inspiring example that each of us should strive to emulate. Brothers and sisters, the wedding of Goddess Meenakshi Amman and Lord Sundareshwar is not merely a legendary tale, it represents the divine union of the masculine and feminine energies. Lord Shiva, the epitome of the cosmic consciousness, and the goddess Parvati, the embodiment of the divine energy and the feminine strength. The celestial union signifies the cosmic balance and inseparable nature of the male and female energy in the universe, sometimes also referred to as Purus and Prakriti. The mesmerizing depiction of the divine wedding of Goddess Meenakshi Amman, the Lord Sundareshwar, reminded me of the tradition of Hartalika Teej, celebrated in many parts of North India, which is based on the marriage of Lord Shiva and Ma Parvati. It is another reminder, if any is needed at all, of the cultural unity of India. Unity in diversity is a phrase often used to describe the unique cultural tapestry of India. Brothers and sisters, it encapsulates the idea that despite the immense diversity in terms of languages, religions, and costumes, etc., the people of India are united by a common thread of a shared culture and heritage. Brothers and sisters, I feel very much at home here in today's celebration, as I belong to the land of Shiva, the ancient city of Kashi, or the modern-day Varanasi or Banaras, if you will. The connection between Shaivism and the Kashi requires no explanation, with Kashi being the abode of Lord Shiva, housing the sacred Jyotirling and attracting devotees from around the world. The city is deeply woven into the fabric of Saivite traditions and the beliefs. The relationship between Kashi and Tamil Nadu is the stuff of legends and the epics. Brothers and sisters, it is believed that the King Parakram Pandya, who ruled over the region around Madurai in the 15th century, wanted to build a temple of Lord Shiva. He travelled to Kashi to bring a lingam for the purpose. While returning, he stopped to rest under a tree. But when he tired to continue his journey, the carriage carrying the lingam didn't move. Parakram Pandya understood this to be the Lord's command and installed the lingam there, a place that came to be known as Shiva Kashi. For a devotee who could not visit Kashi, the Pandyas had built the Kashi Vishwanathar temple in Kashi. Brothers and sisters, why did I mention this legendary tale? Religio-spiritual thoughts, beliefs and socio-economic practices formed a temple on which the idea of Bharat was sustained and strengthened across millennia with a subcontinental expanse. There is a Prayag, and then there is a Deo Prayag. There is a Kashi, and there is a Shiv Kashi. The examples can be multiplied, but we get the point. Bharat, the land of Manja, grass, and black-eyed gazelle, the land of Shankara, the land of Kaveri and Ganga, the land of Buddha, Mahavir and Nanak, the land of Saint Tiruvalluvar and Goswami Tulsidas, the land of Tamil and Sanskrit is essentially and truly one. Brothers and sisters, in recent times, there has been a concerted campaign to challenge the foundational aspects of the Bharat cultural and spiritual unity. Certain mischievous elements persistently propagated the notion that there is not a nation but a mere union of distinct states. This misguided interrogation of India's national and cultural identity is historically inaccurate and thus betrays either a lack of understanding of the cultural nationalism in the Indian context or a profound hatred for all things Indian. Brothers and sisters, questioning the oneness of Bharat is a wrong idea, a bad idea, and it is said that the best way to counter a bad idea, a wrong idea, is to put forth a good idea. The disruptive and socialist tendency that has emerged are being effectively addressed by our Honorable Prime Minister, who is actively reinforcing the national fabric of our cultural unity. Under the far-sighted leadership of the Prime Minister Modi, the entire nation is being brought together physically and emotionally. Brothers and sisters, rails and roads, ports and airports, cheap data, and 5G networks have physically connected India as never before. Emotional integration has gone even further. A noteworthy example of this emotional integration is the government's commitment towards the development of the northeastern state, once labeled as the neglected states of the nation. They have now changed into a transformative states of the nation. Brothers and sisters, Prime Minister Modi's strategic policy and focused attention have not only neutralized divisive forces there, but have also asserted positive and unifying transformation forces across the country, the Northeast included. The Government of India, under the visionary guidance of the Honorable Prime Minister, has prioritized the cultural integration of our country. Brothers and sisters, Prime Minister Modi has consistently emphasized the contribution of the Tamil people and their rich culture to the Indian identity. His deep personal affinity and emotional attachment to the great Tamil traditions is known to everyone. Prime Minister has asked me to convey his good wishes to you all and reiterate that he is invested in the promotion of Tamil culture and well-being of the Tamil people. Brothers and sisters, Prime Minister's commitment to the Tamil tradition is reflected in his initiative of enshrining the sacred Sengol in the new parliament, the sanctorum of the Indian democracy. In 2022, Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the Kashi Tamil Sangamam, a significant initiative aimed at rediscovering, reaffirming and celebrating the enduring connections between Tamil people and the Kashi that have spanned centuries. Brothers and sisters, building on the success of the Kashi Tamil Sangamam, the government has extended its commitment to cultural integration by launching the Saurashtra Tamil Sangamam, and this initiative seeks to celebrate the cultural co-mingling between West India and South India. Friends, another historically wrong point made by divisive forces is their misattribution of a very good thing in our society and culture to outside influences. I am not saying that we have not been influenced by foreign things, but taking it too far is wrong and demeaning to our indigenous genius. Our attire is said to be foreign inspired. Our culinary delights are stated to have foreign origin. Even our religious traditions, such as the Bhakti movement, are said to be created on account of contacts with foreign ideas. Brothers and sisters, I personally do not subscribe to this theory that everything good and noble in our country has come from abroad, and will explain my stand to you. South India has been the epicenter of Bhakti tradition, with Nayanar and Alavar saints composing devotional hymns that are sung even today. The event we are attending today may also be seen as a part of the broad rubric of a Bhakti movement. Brothers and sisters, since South India, and particularly Tamil Nadu, was the last and the least to be affected by the foreign invaders and their influences, the Bhakti tradition of Tamils is a testimony of the purely Indian province of the Bhakti movement. Hence, I believe that South India has always been culturally prosperous. As I have just discussed, due to the geographical location, South India has always been a distant target for invaders. We all know that North India had to directly face invaders, due to which at different times different invaders harmed our society and culture in North India. But South India remained comparatively less affected by the invaders. Our great temples in South India escaped the fate meted out to the North Indian temples and monasteries. The happy result of which has been that our Indian culture appears more pristine and vibrant in South India. The way South India has preserved our Indian culture is definitely praiseworthy. There will be no exaggeration if I call South India the cultural fortress of Bharat. South India is the safe house of the Bharatiya Sanskrit, Indian culture. In the realm of our cultural heritage, if South India stands as a formidable fortress, and with its basins, the communities and the individuals dedicated to safeguarding our rich tradition can be likened to valiant sentinels. For example, brothers and sisters, you all are engaged in upholding the tradition of Tirumurai Tiruvira. Deserve much appreciation as the cultural sentinels of our way of life. Tirumurai Tiruvira that I witnessed today is an experience of lifetime for me. The sanctity of this divine wedding transcends its mythological origins to reflect the eternal spiritual bond between the devotee and the divine. Brothers and sisters, the portrayal of this event outside the sacred fencings of Madurai during Tirumurai Tiruvira adds an extra layer of significance, symbolizing the extension of these sacred traditions beyond their usual confines. The extension of this tradition outside Madurai inspires me to propose something to the esteemed Adhinam gathered here. I suggest that Tirumurai Tiruvira may be celebrated throughout our nation in various states. Brothers and sisters, this initiative would provide an opportunity for fellow citizens to witness this profound tradition, recognizing similarity in their own customs. Additionally, it would contribute to our commitment to strengthen the tapestry of our cultural unity. Brothers and sisters, the depiction of this divine wedding during festivals of grand occasion like Tirumurai Tiruvira not only serves as a cultural spectacle but also serves as a reminder of the spiritual journey undertaken by each devotee, a journey towards spiritual awakening, union with the divine, and ultimately self-realization. Brothers and sisters, Tirumurai Tiruvira is a grand celebration steeped in the rich cultural heritage and spiritual legacy of our land. It is an occasion that commemorates the profound spiritual teachings encapsulated within the Tirumurai, a reverent collection of hymns written by Shaiva saints from the 6th to 11th century. These verses stand as the eternal reservoir of spiritual wisdom, a treasure trove passed down through generations, resonating across ages, guiding our spiritual consciousness. I am aware that the Thevaram, which are composition of devotional hymns sung by the three Shaiva sons, Appar, Sambandar, and the Sundara, who lived in the 7th and 8th centuries, are sung even today. Such is the power and the deep impact of the hymns on the people of this land. Brothers and sisters, my best wishes to your vibrant communities so that your people can scale even greater heights of material successes and spiritual enlightenment. Friends, before I conclude, I want to say that the esteemed guests and devotees present here also deserve much accolades for being an active participant in taking forward our spiritual legacy. Your unwavering support and tireless initiatives to safeguard and cherish these invaluable traditions for the benefit of generations to come deserve the highest appreciation. As this momentous event draws to a close, I extend my deepest gratitude for your steadfast dedication, enthusiastic participation, and unwavering commitment. Let us pledge to perpetuate the spirit of Tirumurai Tiruvira, nurturing our shared Bharatiyata, Indianness, as a beacon of light, guiding us towards a materially prosperous and spiritually enriched future. Thank you very much.